I hereby summon all my imps. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. So right now there is a event running in Marvel Snap where every single card in your shop is a Dan Hipp variant. And I'm actually kind of proud of Second Dinner for doing something like this, and I actually want to see more stuff like this in the future where there are Dan Hipp variants that are running, or some other variants like a Summer variant, or a Noir variant, or a Venomized variant. But I also wanted to talk about like how variants are kind of weird at times. Okay, so the thing is that when you get into variants, some variants are very nice to have. Like, I actually like Dan Hipp's bird very much. But some of even Dan Hipp stuff, I'd sit there and go, eh. Like his Iron Lad, I'm not that big of a fan of, and especially his Crystal, I'm not a big fan of. And what really kind of bugs me is there's just no way to kind of fix that as of yet. I wish they would do a couple different things to kind of fix this in the future. Like, one of the things that you could do is you could basically put some sort of, especially on the PC version of this, like in a work for Dan Hipp variants, like maybe you could click up here on the very top where it says Dan Hipp, and there'd be a way to click it. So you can put this as an alert. Then when you went actually to the shop, you would actually see Dan Hipp's show there, and they would have like a flag on them that says, "Hey, this one's a Dan Hipp." I know right now they're all Dan Hipp, so it's a bad example. But that's the very least they can do is like, hey, if you like Dan Hipp's, you should have a way of getting some sort of flag, some sort of notice that says, hey, there's a Dan Hipp in the shop that you might want to pick up. The other thing that I kind of would like them to do at some point is kind of do a variant swap. Now, I had to kind of think about how I wanted to do this variant swap, because a lot of this was about trying to make it so that it was fair, but not broken, because people would cheat this if you tried to make it broken. My first idea was just that you could swap a card for a card. But the problem that you kind of run into that is that when you do a card for a card, that way you could just swap between like every single Dan Hipp that came out until you found the one that you want, or every single Iron Lad that you found out until you came out. So I think the first thing that you have to do is you have to make it so that an Iron Lad's for an Iron Lad, Mystique's for a Mystique, so on and so forth. And the next problem that I kind of ran into with that is the progression on stuff. So if you own a couple of different cards, you can actually end up like with, let's say here, let me do one that I've actually done a couple times. Let me go with, I think I've done Dark a few times. I found one I've done a few times. Adam Warlock. I've done Adam Warlock a couple different times. And the first thing that you gotta change if you want to do kind of a variant swap is you can't swap out a basic, because that way you might get the basic again, so you'd have to lock up the basic. But even with this basic, using this basic as an example, I split this a couple different times, so I shouldn't be able to change this one into a different variant. So that might be something that they'd have to put in there also. It's like, if you want to change an Adam Warlock for an Adam Warlock, first you need a variant to start the process. That way you're not having to worry about some sort of error, some sort of problem down the road, where if not having the basic card, but having a variant of it only. Secondly, you'd have to be able to swap a valued card for a valued card. Like, some of these cards are rare, and some of these cards are ultra rare, and some of these cards are super. So a rare would be for rare, and a super would be for super. But even when you go through all of that, you still run into this problem. Like, look at Wolverine. I've got this basic card, I've got this pixel card, and then I got this anime variant. Now, if I split his anime variant a couple times, I'll end up with a couple different anime variants. If I split his pixel a couple times, I'll end up with a couple different pixels from him. And now, if I don't want the pixel, I should be able to trade that in for something else that's on the same level of a pixel, because maybe I don't like pixels. But it would be for another Wolverine, and it would have to be on the same level, one of the $700 gold cards. Like, that's where the Dan Hipps, I believe, fall into. But the problem that you can run into is when you split something a couple different times, you can basically say, well, why can't I turn this variant here, or this variant here into a different card, because I split it. Now, I know I'm using base cards here, so it's not the exact same thing, but if you have any card and you split it a couple times. So one of the things that you would have to do about that is say, hey, if you want to give up this variant, you're trading in this variant and you're going back to square one. So you lose all of your progress. And the reason that I think it's important to lose all of your progress, so that you don't get into the split problem. Otherwise, you would basically just split a card, turn the split into a different variant, and then have every single variant of Adam Warlock down the road, or even if you just hit all the 700s, and that's going to lose secondary money, and they don't want to do that. So, I mean, if you're going to do that, you might as well just spend the 700 gold and have that as an option. So, if they wanted to go that route and say, hey, do you want an Adam Warlock variant? You can either lose all your progress or spend 700 gold for an Adam Warlock variant. And they might bring that down a little bit because you might get a random one, but 700 would be for something there. Maybe they would even bring it up, because then they could bring it up to like maybe 900, and that way sometimes you get 700s, but sometimes you'd actually get thousands, the same way that if you go into the collection right now and you go into the shop, you can pick up the premium variant for 800, and sometimes that's 700 gold cards, and sometimes that's 1400 gold cards. But I like the fact that if you don't want a variant, you can just sit there and go, no, I don't want this variant, I don't care about this variant, get rid of this variant. I'd rather have no progress on this variant for free. Now, the only problem that you kind of run into that is what's known as the upgrade problem. For a lot of people who have played Marvel Snap for a while, you'll understand that if you've got a basic card, to pump it up just one level costs 25 credits. Or if you go and you do it with anything else down the road, it costs 100 credits per, or 50 credits per level. So this one's 2 levels, so it's 100 credits, so it's 50 credits per level. And what you basically don't want somebody to do is say, I Rocket Raccoon, get the pixel variant for him, boost him up once, and then say, hey, I don't like the pixel, then get this variant as common, boost it up once, and then say, hey, I don't like that, and then get the pixel back, and then do that. And have an infinite loop where you can just walk up the track very quickly with using less and less credits than you're needed to. And the easiest way around that is just to make doing the swap some version of credits to do that swap. So my idea on that particular part of that was to make it about 100 credits to do the swap. That way you can't do this trick. You'll actually lose credits in the process by doing that trick. It's not a lot of credits, because if you look at the game, that's just getting one of the bigger daily missions done. So you could basically pick this up and do this about 4, 5, 6 times a day if you really didn't like some of your variants. But when you also lose the progress on your card and you completely wipe the card, nobody's just going to do it because they just kind of don't or want the new card. If you wanted the new card, then you would just spend the 700 gold or the 800 gold or the 1400 gold to pay on which way you want to go around it. But I would like down the road if there would be ways where I could look and see, hey, maybe I do like pixels, so I can put in a work for pixels. Or maybe, hey, I like Rocket Raccoon, put in a work for when there's Rocket Raccoon versions up, because maybe I like a Rocket Raccoon, or you can even do it on stuff that you don't have copies for. And maybe I want a different Onslaught, and I never use the Onslaught because I never see a pixel for him, or I never even see a dead hit for him. I could put an alert that says, hey, let me know when Onslaught's in the shop. It doesn't stop the FOMO that you have from it not being in the shop. It just kind of gives you a thing that says, hey, Onslaught's in the shop right now. And another thing that you could put on it would be a way to basically say, let's say I like this particular art for Rocket Raccoon. I should be able to click on the artist here and put an alert on it. That way I know when this particular artist is back up and running. Or when even secondary know, hey, I do like this artist. Maybe then you'll put more information on them or put more stuff out there on them. If you like an artist, that would be a great way to show, hey, you like that artist. I mean, it's so weird that they're doing this, and I enjoy the fact that they're doing this, but it seems like it's missing that last step where you could have fun with it. There's also a part of me that would also wish them to move this to like this weekend and give everybody one random Dan Hipp variant and have the Friday, Saturday, Sunday gold reward or even challenge reward play with a Dan Hipp in your deck. I think that would be kind of interesting. You know, you give away one variant of Dan Hipp. It makes the weekend unique for everybody who plays it. And that'd be kind of something interesting to see, something interesting to do. I want them to do more interesting stuff in the future. I'm very excited about the fact that they're putting an artist up for a couple days. I enjoy the fact that that's happening. I just wish there was more that I could do about it in the future. If I like this artist, I should have some ways of gaining him, of grabbing him, of having him. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed my little rant about the variants. I want to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, remember, play, hold, on.